Alright. Hi. So I wanted to make that part 2 of the grades video. The ABCDF. Or ABCD, yeah. And I thought, what better time to do it than right now when I'm barely awake, meds haven't quite kicked in yet, and I'm cold. Yeah. Full disclaimer, I'm slightly tired, so I don't know. It's just more going to be like a stream of thoughts than anything, but that's what this whole deal is. So, yeah. If there's any profanity or anything, it's not like I'm intentionally using it. It's what comes out of my mouth. So, yeah, that's what you're getting. All right, so I mentioned in the last video that, well, I told what you saw what it was. I said what I thought every letter grade should stand for. And quite clearly, that reflects some of my opinions on, the nature of grading scales. And I just wanted to go into a bit more depth here. And I wanted to do it now, one, while I'm thinking of it, and two, before Buddy gets here, because apparently I'm looking after him again today. But I didn't want him to distract me. So, and I thought, having a cute little guest star would distract me from this one. Yeah, this is going to be a bit more informal. Not that it was overly formal to begin with. Anyway, I guess, where do I start? I take a lot of issue with grading scales. And not that I know a ton about how they work. I guess I'll start with my biggest complaint, which may or may not be the best idea. Why is 50%, even 60%, in a lot of cases, why is that failure? Why? 60% is a lot. If I gave you a glass of milk, just a glass of milk, I don't know, and I told you that there was a 60% chance that this would make you die of death by poison, you wouldn't do it. I mean, you might not do it if there was a 5% chance, but that just shows you how big of a percent 60 is if you won't do it with 5. Like 60% is a lot. That is 60% of what. That means you retained 60% of whatever information you were told to retain. And I think that's really impressive. As somebody with memory issues, I think that is very good. I think even 50% is incredible in a lot of cases. But schools don't see it that way. You either remember everything or you don't. And if you don't remember everything, you're obviously a failure. And obviously, I'm not talking about every teacher or every school, even. This is the general gist of how it felt, kinda. Yeah, intelligence and memory are not the same thing. It took me a long time to come to terms with this. It took an actual diagnosis of my memory issues to fully come to terms with the fact that I'm intelligent. For a long time, I just thought I was dumb. I'd never even considered the fact that intelligence and memory were separate things. But it's true, they are separate. Comprehension is not my issue. It is retention. I think the same could be said for a lot of people. So it's like, yeah. Sometimes it's all I can do. Sometimes it's all I could do during a test to remember even 40% of the information. Sometimes. uh, and that felt like a feat in and of itself to me. Anyway, I've lingered on that a little long now. Okay, so anyway, regarding 50%, why isn't 50% a C? Because C is, we were led to believe is average, and average is, when you think about what is an average of something, it's the middle of, like when I tell people about my business and I say, oh yeah, I'm able to do such and such on average within this many hours. Usually average means middle of the road. I take a certain subset of information and like narrow it down, and it's like, okay, use maths to determine what the average is, which is your middle of the road result, basically. But C, in some classes, I might be remembering this wrong, but C is sometimes like 70-80%. And then below that, it just like jumps from like a D or an F. And it's like, no. Why don't we get credit for the information we retained? Even if it's only 50%, don't think of it as only 50%. That's 50%. That's pretty damn good. Does I think so? Like, I honestly think that C should be, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say things that I guess overstep my bounds. Like, I'm not a teacher. I'm not in the school system. I don't know how these things work. But I don't know. Why am I getting flustered? I'm saying what I think. That's the whole point of this. And that's what you signed up for by clicking on it. I just, like, I understand, like, 98 to 100 or something like that being an A. That's not, I don't take issue with that. But I feel like anywhere between, like, I don't know, 70 to like 85 maybe should be a B. And then like 50, 60 is a C. Like, why? Like, C. We're led to believe C is average. But I don't know if that's entirely true. If just the average person is able to retain that much information with little to no effort, it's messed up. There's so much of the stuff in school I understood just fine, but I just couldn't remember it. There was too much to remember to be bothered to remember. Like, this isn't going to be a very fuck. This isn't clearly not going to seem like one of my more intelligent videos, but I guess I couldn't come up with a very intelligent way to. I just wanted to make my thoughts, let them be passionate, and let them come out how they would if if I was thinking out loud on my own. That's what this whole thing is about. It's me just opening up about stuff at my pace. So I guess if you don't like that, get out. We don't get enough credit for what we are actually able to accomplish in school, I think. We just don't.